That wasn't me. What up, hoes? It's me. Anyway.
Hi guys, it's me. Hello guys, what's up? It's me, Fanatic14, and today we're gonna be building a wall. We'll build a wall. Okay, we'll make America great again. No, I'm kidding.
Alright, so you may be wondering, guys. Zeph, what the fuck are we gonna be doing today? See you later, Izzy. Thank you later. See you later. Hello, JR Hip Hip. But yeah, you may be wondering, what the heck are we gonna be doing? Well, today, everybody, have you heard of this, have you ever heard of this, okay, good news, everybody. That fucking, Cross Hands visual novel has a demo, and we're gonna be playing that today. Yes, you heard that right. Cafe drop. Let's see. Come here. Don't, I'm in the state. Nah, Zeph, the hell? No, I'm kidding, don't worry. But yeah, we're gonna be playing this game. Hold on. We just, The game contains sensitive content as it features or for stars considered bad language. That's a lot. Alright, from the creator of the comic Depressive, I present to you... Why is it... Oh no. English, there you go. Let me lower that. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to do that! Alright, again. Sorry, I didn't mean to accidentally exit the game. It also has gay BL content, a lot of it. You have been warned. Oh, I don't need to be warned by that, my good sir. No! This just got released now. I'm not joking. This just got released now. Whoopsie. Here we go. There you go. This just got released. This one. This actually just got released. It's okay, your local fandom. Alright, so this game called Cafe Drop. Look at these. These amazing fuckers. Oh no. This is more like a slice of life kind of game from what I can assume. By the way, I apologize for the delay of the stream. Alright, so let's start a new game. Jesus, so loud. Ah, the layout is so good. The doorbell announced the arrival or departure of people at the cafe. This place was built busy due to its wide variety of coffees, cakes, and sweets. But its increase in clientele was something relatively recent, all thanks to the efforts of the employees. Yes, thank you, JR Hip Hip. I am the reviewer of Skeleton Yaoi. It's beautiful. Among the activities we did to reach other audiences were home delivery and event services. This is Ty. Hi, what's up playing? This new visual novel that was released. It's called Cafe Drop. It's an Undertale AU Sansa's thing. The cafe would prepare a large buffet chosen by the customers, which we served during or after galas, meetings, or events. However, this time it was the chance to land a much bigger contract, an important one that would guarantee the cafe's resounding success, and I was the one in charge of representing the cafe. Me, Cross. Oh, Cross looks so cute! This is a golden opportunity. I can't afford to make mistakes this afternoon. I need to breathe, relax, and breathe again. I knew it sounded ridiculous, but even though it wasn't my first time as the representative, I was nervous as hell. See you later, Subway Sandwich. It was an event agency, so signing a contract with them meant they'd have us for their own events. Our cafe was just one of the locations of this brand's chain, but each one operated independently to grow on its own, relying only on investments from the parent company. I'd been working here ever since I started my career, so every achievement meant a lot to me. Already zoning out? A hand hovered in front of my face, bringing me back to my senses. Oh! Maybe it was my anxiety, but I hadn't felt my coworker's presence in front of me. Ah! Dust. What are you doing here? I had just left the cafe, getting ready to attend the meeting. It wouldn't take long to get there using public transport. What do you think? Since you're useless at driving, I have to be the chauffeur. I didn't ask you to be. And you think I want to? Our colleagues pity you. And since I'm the only one with a car, they forced me to help. This was Dust, who also worked at the cafe. He handled all the money there. The finance guy. We had never gotten along very well. We could talk normally, but we rarely shared breaks or exchanged words when we were in the same room. But somehow there was a certain trust in the fact that Dust had no problem being rude to me. Well, I can take advantage of the time to prepare. If you perform like you did in your interview, I'm sure we'll have the deal sealed in the first minute. Be rude or ignore him. Ah! Listen. As much of an asshole he is, I'm gonna ignore him. I decide to ignore his teasing. After all, I wouldn't gain anything by arguing with him. Dust didn't insist any further and headed to the parking lot to get his car. I followed him without saying another word. I had to use the remaining time to prepare for the meeting. This is really promising. I like this. After a few minutes of driving through an almost deathly sepulchral silence. Yo, what is this, chat? It's called Cafe Drop, everybody. To the new viewers, this is called Cafe Drop. It's an A.U. Sansa's visual novel where you play as Cross, and yes, this is a romance visual novel. So you can pick. So there are, I think, 4 Sansas you could pick to who you want to romance with. Girl, go back to sleep. Shut up. The venue was obviously very spacious. Edgy Bone 609. It's shipping. We don't usually care. It's up to us to interpret how we want to interpret a ship. You can interpret as toxic or as wholesome or as chaotic as you want. We don't care. That's the fandom. This building served as the venue for prestigious events, which made making a first strong impression crucial for the guests. Tell me your Nightmare is one of them. Yes, Nightmare is actually one of them. As I stepped out of the car, I caught a quick glimpse of Dust doing the same. Hey, what are you getting out for? Oh, sure, I'll just hang out in the car the whole time. Of course I'm coming with you. And this way I can also make sure you don't lose this contract. Looking like that? At least take your coat off. Dust was always wearing that coat. He never lowered the hood even while at work. I had never quite understood his obsession with presenting himself that way. Every situation was different, and right now, looking presentable was crucial. They're not going to faint just because I have a coat on. Start walking. Ugh. We went to the reception, and the attendant guided us to the meeting room. The building was solely owned by the agency, unlike our premises. There were offices of other entities I had never gotten to know from the 2nd floor onward. We took the elevator up to the 3rd floor, and a skeleton was waiting for us at the entrance. His outfit was formal, and more suited for administrative work than practical tasks. The green vest he wore under his jacket was the only exception. He almost looked like the manager of the entire agency. He had an aura of importance. It was clear he would be the one to decide of the alliance. And that only made me more nervous. If I messed up with him, the cafe would be history. You must be the ones from the cafe. Good thing you arrived on time. Showing up 10 minutes late wouldn't leave a good impression. That's why we got here 10 minutes early. The stranger fell silent for a moment. I had to hold back the urge to smack Dust. This was no time for his mouth, especially not in front of the agency's top module. No, it's okay. It's okay, Edgy Bones. It's okay. I appreciate your concern. It's okay, Edgy. You're being respectful, okay? I'm good with that. That's okay. Sorry for my partner, Dust, sir. I'm the representative for the collaboration between both companies. I'm Cross, the agency's top magnet, shifted his gaze from me to Dust, then back to me. He soon introduced himself, addressing me directly. I'm Nightmare, the person in charge of the contest our cafe is part of. Please, come into the room. Cross, and Dust. I glanced discreetly at Dust, who, with his hands in his pocket, didn't seem bothered by the other's indifferent tone. It was his only comment before entering. I followed after him, and had the misfortune of seeing him adjust his hood before entering the meeting. May the earth swallow me. Oh, I like this! This looks so cute! Ah, I love it! Look at that, so cute! I need to save that. Yes! The room was spacious with a rectangular table in the center surrounded by chairs. A typical office. Oh my god! Hey! Hi everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream too. A typical office meeting table, but it had its charm thanks to the large windows at the back. Nightmare sat in the end chair, asserting his position. I took a seat next to him to stay attentive, while Dust sat 2 seats away, keeping his distance. I couldn't complain. He only came because I couldn't get around. This was supposed to be my official business. Nightmare started talking. As you know, We are an agency specializing in events of various types: corporate, executive, educational. Lately, we've faced complications with buffets and cocktail services due to the challenges of hiring staff for every single requirement: bartending, service, prep, chefs, cleaning, etc. That's why we opened the tender to establish a more solid collaboration with experienced event companies. Yes, that's why I'm grateful you considered our cafe, sir. I don't remember reading anything about cleaning services in the contest. Oh god. Oh god, oh god. Hi, Symbolic! Voice acting stream. Yup! Oh, I'm gonna mess up. I need to save. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Well, this is a pickle. I actually love the interface. The interface looks fucking cool. And I love the art style, of course. So cool. Do I interfere or do not interfere? Oh no! Oh no, everybody! Oh no! Guys, I hate choices! I hate making choices in this damn in visual novels. My consequences have actions. I mean, my actions have consequences. Did I just say my consequences have actions? I'm stupid. See you later, Arwen. Hi, Chick Pinko. Okay. Alright, we saved so we can do both stuff. I couldn't believe what he was saying. I raised an eyebrow and looked at him with disdain. Thus, the tender clearly states that different companies will be hired. The cleaning service isn't our responsibility. It's important to clarify. You never know. We could be recorded, and once we sign, we are done for. Nightmare cleared his throat to interrupt our argument. I shrugged automatically. We're not recording, for your peace of mind. In that case, we'd be at a disadvantage since we need your permission to record. Cross is right. You won't be handling the cleaning services. I stayed silent, but does shot me an annoyed look. Why the fuck is Cross short? Oh, no. This is this is... Okay. No. Okay. He's not short, guys. Guys, to clarify, Cross is not short. This is his sprite showing into the side. This is the sprite showing on the side. He's not short. I promise. See you later, Beyond. But yeah, to the people, this game is called Cafe Drop. It's an AU Sans. It's an AU Sans visual novel where you play as Cross, and you get to romance, I think, 4 characters, and I think 4 Sanses in this game. Nightmare, Dust, Killer, and I think Ink. I'm not sure. We'll see. Technically, it is an AU. It's a cafe AU. I tried to resist joining his tantrum, but I just cleared my toes, hoping it would help me calm down a bit. Nightmare continued the meeting. He explained that in order to decide among the selected locations, there would be a second stage that consisted of participating in 2 events organized by the agency. This included payment, so there were no problems. As a cafe, we had to offer a buffet that met the customer's expectations. We had to make an effort to give the best impressions. No, he's not short, I promise! Nightmare does indeed look like a fancy man. Yeah, he is. Very fancy. The meeting continued without major setbacks. Before signing for the services of the 2 upcoming events, we went to see the floor where the buffets would be held. The hall was well lit, and there was several tables placed throughout almost all of its space. Guys, just think of it as me just doing another audio reading with you guys. Forgive my horrible voice acting, by the way. There were other tables that stood out for being longer, probably used for setting out appetizers. Nightmare entered the hall, pointing out the exits and the staff service. I tried to pay attention to the details. On those tables, there could be many kinds of cakes, and on the ones in the back, the cookies. and near the wall, the drinks, so the staff could walk without bumping into the customers. During my visual inspection, I spotted the elephant in the room. At the far end of the hall, there was a stage with someone standing upon it. Unlike Nightmare, his aura was much more charismatic, even though his eye sockets were completely dark. There were certain skeletons who could hide their pupils. It was a very eerie ability. At least I'm not able to do that. The guy on the stage, realizing I was watching him, jumped down and approached us. Nightmare stopped his explanation when he heard the echo of his fall and footsteps. He is Killer, our events coordinator. Hi. Are you from the Cafe Drop Cafe? Nice to meet you. Only 2 locations past the first filter. Yes, that's right, sir. Thank you very much. I'm Cross. It's also an honor to be here. His tone of voice was very friendly and energetic, contrary to Nightmare's. Killer approached me and offered his hand, which I took. He then did the same with Dust, who was not as enthusiastic as I was, but did not refuse to shake his hand. Huh, don't be humble, Cross. The fact that the boss chose you means you have a lot of potential. What can I say in front of that? I mean, of course I'll thank him. I didn't think it was like that. Thank you. Again, sir. Some can, some others can't. That's how things are. So I hope you can do a good job. We'll do it. Don't worry about that, sir. No need for sir. We're colleagues on the same level. Even though Nightmare is the heir to this whole agency. Don't start. The boss?! I'm sorry for the trouble. Ridiculous. It was a joke. He's only the head of our corporate's events department. Oh, now I was embarrassed. Shashik Kipcho, buddy. That's how I always voice Killer. I'm sorry. I'll excuse this guy. He organizes events but has the role of a pastry chef. We all looked automatically at Dust after that comment, and then Nightmare and Killer turned their heads to me. Nightmare must have known my position since our branch manager had informed him that the representative was just a pastry chef with a higher rank. Even so, I sit with curiosity about what he will answer. Oh god! No! Oh no! Oh no! I must save a guy. Oh no. Oh no no no. See you later, CatCon. Oh, this is not good. You know what? I'll defend myself. I turned to him and crossed my arms, demanding answers. This man was already giving me way too many headaches. For once, we're both in this, and the first thing he did was hurt the pride of my profession. You really make being a baker look like a bad thing. He cracked his eye sockets, his red eyes glaring at me. He spoke sharply. No. I froze in my seat and only snapped back to reality after a few pats on my back. It was Killer, who gave me a reassuring smile. Don't worry, Cross. That's your name, right? This contract isn't hanging by a thread because of how you speak. Right, boss? Nightmare raised both eyebrows when mentioned. He had been silently observing us with a more intrigued expression. But he didn't seem annoyed. Honestly, I was more surprised that his expression had changed after so long. Certainly. Thank you. That reassures me a lot. Dust shrugged at the situation. I was thankful that this didn't escalate, but I was quite annoyed that Pete behaved this way. Wasn't he supposed to be part of human resources? Why was he so grumpy? Did he want us to fail this tender? If we win, our cafe would take off and have more resources to grow. Anyways, just like an event organizer and pastry chef, I'm an events organizer and host. I usually keep the crowds entertained. This stage is my playground. What have you missed so far? Nothing much. Killer had been leaning against the stage as we talked. It was a platform that reached his shoulders. Killer gave the platform a few pats. In smaller events like ours, the ones talking at meetings were usually the clients. We just provided the food. This must be your favorite spot in the room. If it were up to me, I'd never leave this stage. While we were talking, Nightmare and Dust stepped away to the staff room. So this was a perfect chance to get to know my future colleague. I didn't need to plan the conversation. He just started talking, sitting back on the stage. Oh, that looks awesome. I need to save that. It's always interesting to meet new partners. Your teammate, Dust. He's quite direct, isn't he? Something like that. He works in human resources. Oh, that makes sense. You're clearly from different departments. Of course, being a pastry chef takes precision, creativity, and talent. I saw the dessert sketches you brought for the tender. Knight would never admit it, but he ate all the tartlets when no one was looking. Really? I thought he barely tried anything. Killer leaned in, lowering his voice. I had to move closer to catch his whisper. Nightmare has a perfect poker face, but I've known him for years. When he says it was fine, it really means it was delicious. That is good to know. I love writing Killer to be super extra, right? He straightened up again, fingers interlaced. His coat stretched behind him, and his formal shoes clicked softly against the platform. A brief silence fell. Nothing awkward. Hey, can I ask you a personal question? I wasn't expecting that. Depends on how personal it is. Do you care a lot about this tender? I saw your eyes light up when you looked around the room, even from here. I patted the stage. I swallowed hard. Is this some kind of test? I already told you it's personal. Don't worry, it won't affect you at all. I've got to be sincere. It's times like this where we have to be very sincere. The cafe where we work has been my refuge for years. I started as a kitchen assistant, but little by little, I found my place. At the same time, I started organizing events, though they were simpler responsibilities, like arranging my teammates or planning menus for each celebration. Not an official role like your event coordinator position. I'm not that important. Still, as a small branch, we've grown a lot, and this contest is a great opportunity. My words had come out so natural that they sounded memorized. I hope he didn't notice that. Killer, to my surprise, softened his gaze. It's a noble gesture. The places that welcome us become a part of who we are. And you, why this job? You seem to have a talent for entertaining people. You mean you do that too? Oh, I love seeing people have fun. So I'm a presenter too. I do shows. It must be exhausting. You know, keeping that energy up all the time? Killer looked down at his knees. His dark eyes seemed to disappear for a moment, but his smile stayed. It didn't last more than a second before he shrugged, returning to his usual expression. Like any job, right? Nothing a good coffee can fix. Maybe one of yours will wake me up. If you want, I could bring you a coffee in the thermos on the day of the event. Oh? You'd really do that? Sure. We're pals, no? Pals. I like the sound of that. I extended his fist. Killer extended his fist after saying that. It took me a moment to catch on, but I managed to bump fists with him. It seemed this little exchange went well. Alright, I won't interrupt anymore. I've got some stuff that needs to be done still. I'll let you get back to Cross, boss. See ya. I nearly turned around completely to see where Nightmare was. I'd lost sight of him a while ago. It was a relief not to bump into him or make eye contact over that silly action. He was just organizing some papers. Also, it was clear that Nightmare was used to Killer's behavior since he didn't react to his teasing at all. He came over to us once Killer left the room. Is there a ship in here? I smell it. Wait, how can I smell? What's this I have found? Hi, guys! Also, Mia, this game is a romance visual novel. You have 4 Cross has 4 AU stances to be able to romance with. Nightmare's one of them. obviously Killer, Dust, and Ink, I think. I think there's only 4 characters. What game is this? It's called Cafe Drop. It's on itch.io for free! Dust was the one who signed the service contract for the next 2 events. Remember, it's paid, and it's the last test you must pass to secure the collaboration. With that, we're finished. You can leave. Give me a moment to find the other necessary documents for you, and we will meet at the elevators. Thank you so much. Nightmare left us alone in the elevator lobby. Dust, on the other hand, was staring at the number showing the current floor display above the elevator doors. He was either very focused or just didn't want to talk to me. As for me, I felt unmotivated. Even though the meeting was technically successful, it could have gone better. I was really exhausted. It had been a mix of emotions I didn't even know how to process. Let me pull Persona. Let me romance. My partner's behavior left a lot to be desired, and we might have already been out of the running as a venue. I had to take this moment to address his behavior. Or simply say nothing. Nightmare could arrive or hear us fight. Ah! Fuck! I need to save this one. Where did you get this game? itch.io. It's free on itch.io. Just type Cafe Drop. Yeah. I don't know. Should I confront us? Should I not? You know what? I'm a confronted. Alright, I'll keep it short. I took a deep breath. Dust? I spoke firmly, but my courage was being overshadowed by Dust's piercing gaze. What do you want? You've been bothering me. You've made really tasteless comments all day. I'm pretty disappointed. You're like, oh god, oh my! I was not expecting this. You know what? Fuck it. It's my, my playthrough, my choices. Oh god. He suddenly interrupted me, putting his hand on the wall between the elevators and cornering me in the process. But what? You're going to run crying to the boss now? I didn't expect him to do something like that. I froze, feeling a drop of sweat form on my temple. His intimidating eyes searched for my answer, but an echo from afar made him step back. He slid his hands along the wall until he moved completely away. I automatically mirrored him, to make it seem like nothing had happened. Even so, I whispered my reply. We still have to report how it went. You're the only one who sees my comments so negatively, Cross. You're the one with an issue. Dust shot me with one last glare, looking quite annoyed. I had a feeling that when we got back to the cafe, another argument would be waiting for me. Nightmare arrived with a set of papers. We took them without issue and headed straight for the exit. Dust went straight to the parking lot to get the car, giving me a moment alone with Nightmare. Honestly, I wasn't sure if it was much of a relief since Dust was known to be a troublemaker. Nightmare. Was he a friend or a foe? So far, he'd proven that he's very competent in his role, so as a professional myself, I needed to show competence as well, to protect what little pride I had left. I hope the meeting was clear. Everything you need to know is in these papers. I understand that your partner signed on your behalf, even though you're the representative, but he insisted that you keep talking to Killer. I didn't know how to take that. Maybe Dust had been being considerate, or maybe he just wanted to steal the credit from the meeting just to tease me later. But that would be overthinking. I've known Dust for years. He's not that cruel. Maybe today wasn't his day. It says it's not free. What are you talking about? Yes, it's free! See that? It's free. Just click on no thanks, just take me to the downloads. And bada bing, bada boom. You already have this one. Now just download it. It's free. I told you, Mia. That's just where the sprite is. This is where the sprite is. This is where he is. This is why this is right here. I'm sure he's taller than this, okay? It's fine. Even though I'm the representative between him and me, it doesn't matter who signs. Wait, the fuck did he say? I had to be professional. I had to be the person. Okay. Dust also holds an important position in the cafe. Nightmare nodded, maintaining a gaze that wasn't too intense, so I didn't feel overly judged. That piques my curiosity so far. You're the event organizer, even if not by contract, and it's appropriate for you to attend as a representative. But Dust, as he told me, was just accompanying you. What brings him along? It's not usual for a representative to be accompanied without prior notice. Final exam. Just when I thought I could breathe, this happens. I swallowed. The answer was simple. I didn't know how to drive, but something told me that wouldn't be enough. He looks like a man of experience, someone who stares at you, judges you, and says, "Don't know how to drive? Bah, that's basic knowledge when entering the working world. Be professional, be professional. How do I escape this job interview?" You're making me fucking save a lot, game. This is not good. I hate making choices. No, I don't think Cross is a bottom. I think Cross is just both. He can be... He's a switch. Again, my playthrough, my rules. If something bad happens, I have no one to blame by myself. To be honest, I don't even have a driver's license. I don't know how to drive either, so Dust drove me here. Although, I didn't expect him to decide to accompany me to the meeting. I suggested he wait outside, but you know how it is. I see. I didn't think he'd like that answer. And he was right. It wasn't professional to openly accuse someone. Especially not with a company you're going to collaborate with. The conversation couldn't continue because Dust's car had stopped right in front of us. Nightmare raised a hand farewell and went back into the building. I didn't know how to feel. We returned to the cafe in silence. Only the music from the radio played. Dust, like on the way to the agency, didn't say a word, and I couldn't bring myself to speak either. The car stopped in the lot next to the cafe, yet Dust didn't turn off the engine. I sighed internally, knowing what was coming. Now that we were alone, there was no way to escape his annoyance. I'd been challenging him all day. It was normal that he was upset, though it didn't change the fact that I was too. I'm fed up with you. All day long, acting all sanctimonious and know-it-all. Do you even respect yourself? Forgive me, Sir Decent, but remember, your comments were out of place. How do you even ask those kinds of questions of the boss himself? So what if he's the boss? Sometimes you have to ask about the small stuff. The worst part is having to interrupt me and make me look ignorant. Well, you did look ignorant. You're being arrogant. Oh my goodness. What? I love these CG. I love these CG, but oh my god. Dust from the driver's seat grabbed the collar of my shirt. I kept my frown. I held my breath. What? Are you going to hit me now? It's not the first time we fought like this, and it never leads to anywhere. I hate that you only act all confident when I threaten you. It's your defense mechanism, looking strong, while inside you're trembling. Dust let go of me and pulled a cigarette from the pack in his pocket. I exhaled as naturally as I could. After a few seconds of reflecting on our actions, Dust spoke again. Listen, Cross. Let's leave this as it is. We've moved to the test stage, and we're just 2 events away from securing this collaboration. Believe it or not, I also care about the outcome. I know, don't give me a moral lecture now. Let me out of the car. I don't want to smell like smoke. Dust relaxed his expression. Smoking always calmed him. That's something I'd known for a long time. But I was always surprised by the instant effect a single puff had on him. It was open from the start. I'll go in a few minutes. I stepped out immediately. I had to stay positive. Everything went well in the meeting. Dust didn't cause any disaster, and neither did I. Everything just fine. Just breathe. The next day, we got more information about the first event. We would be participating at the agency. Dust had sent me a copy of the email containing the information. However, alright, stay safe, little Miss Impolic. However, in his message, he also asked me to meet with management as soon as my shift ended at the bar. I was nervous the entire time. The management team consisted of a representative from the leading company, a store manager, HR, and the finance guy. The rest were the pastry chefs who also worked for the bar staff. I was among them, with additional responsibilities. In fact, I was the one who had suggested holding the events. It was the idea other branches of our company were adopting, so I thought we should explore this avenue as well. I hope it's nothing serious. I'd feel terrible if they scolded me for some bad behavior. There was no point in overthinking it. I had to go and find out. The meeting went quite smoothly. The representative had heard about our progress with the event agency and congratulated us for getting that far. Other branches of the same company had also competed but didn't succeed in any category. That's why the branch's executives offered us more investment to showcase the best at the upcoming event, and for the same reason. They offered me a new position as the official event coordinator, a role that could complement my current duties. And of course, I accepted. It felt like all my efforts were finally paying off. This afternoon, I'd buy a chocolate bar and eat it guilt-free as a way to celebrate this great achievement. Hey, are you sure about your choice? Well, that
shit angry tipped you.
Oh, that was from Whoops. I thought that was from the game itself. Whoopsie. Thank you, Angry. I appreciate it. Holy fuck! Thank you. He couldn't resist commenting. He had been silent throughout the entire meeting. I knew his words were different from what the others said. Why wouldn't I be? Now I'm the one who can sign all the event contracts, not the boss. It's more responsibility. Isn't that what I usually do? Yes and no. You usually plan the activities and what should be served, but now you're responsible for attending and the coordination meetings yourself. They didn't mention it to avoid scaring you. They'll be included in the contract they're preparing. Are you trying to scare me? No. Even if we win this contest, it won't exclude events for the other clients. We'll have to increase production on many things. Yup, the timing was amazing. It's clear that financially we can handle it, but maybe your hands won't be enough. Especially if you continue being a pastry chef and barista. And let me remind you that you yourself agreed to keep all your responsibilities as head chef. Like, Dust, what is your problem with Cross? Listen, Dust just want to kiss Cross. How about that? How are you going to manage that? What Dust said was true. I hadn't thought about it that way. We were increasing production, we were growing as a branch, and that meant having more clients beside the event agency. Who is... Go away. Alright. Even the agency could demand more of our time, and smaller orders would become more complex to manage. But I had already made the decision long ago. If we want the cafe to succeed, we have to make sacrifices. I'm passionate about what I do. I enjoy baking, making coffee, and organizing events. If I need to stay later, I will. Alright. Dust shook his head. I'll sign my part of the contract. I wanted to hear from you about your descendant of madness. Go back to your post, dude. I'm not taking responsibility for this. You know that, right? I didn't ask you either. I'm an adult. Very dysfunctional. Dust shrugged and returned to the other side of the cafe. He worked at the register most of the time, but when he needed to perform other tasks, he would head to the staff area on the second floor. He hardly ever went upstairs, so if I didn't go to the kitchen, I saw him every day. From the bar, all I could see on his personal notebook screen was a spreadsheet full of numbers. Did they even make any sense? I sighed and returned my attention to the customers arriving at the cafe. A couple days passed as I got used to the new schedule that I had imposed on myself. My daily tasks involve arriving before the cafe opened to bake and decorate the cakes and sweets that have been left to rest the previous day. This process could take hours depending on the day's recipe and the recipes and the scheduled delivery orders. Home deliveries weren't very frequent, but we had a regular client who especially liked my desserts, so in exchange for a bigger tip, I always baked his orders. Baking was my favorite part of the day. I always loved making culinary recipes, especially pastry ones. I love this! Look at that! This is so beautiful! The great papyrus! Welcome home, magical soul. My god! The great papyrus! I'm your biggest fan! We opened at 9 o'clock to welcome the first breakfast customers. I didn't leave the kitchen until after 11 o'clock when my barista shift began. I would take the customers' coffee and sweet orders, record them, and hand them over to the cashier, usually Dust. Then I would take my break to return to the kitchen and restock what had been sold from the display case, as well as prepare new dough for the next day. I shared this job with 2 other people, with different shifts to keep the work flowing smoothly. Regarding events, I carved out time for preparations, and during events, we all took turns attending. So I hadn't always been at the cafe's events. Sometimes they were small buffets that didn't require more than 2 people. Although, that might change from now on. As the official coordinator, besides being responsible for everything, I had to make sure everything was in its place. Now that we were preparing for the event agency show, I've had to work on my laptop in the middle of the bar for preparations, emails, and so on. Then, I couldn't touch the laptop again until the afternoon when I returned from the kitchen, so sometimes I had to stay until the store's closing time to be able to continue. It had been like this for 3 days. My superiors, including Dust, hadn't said anything about my choices, since it was my own will to be in 3 places at once. I have received help from all my colleagues in human resources who have guided me in the use of budget spreadsheets, supplies, and administrative matters. So, I had to confess, it was very complicated, and I barely understood all the reports and tables I had to fill out, and that was fine. So far, I haven't felt tired. See you later, the Great Papyrus. You have a great day as well. Huh? My laptop chimed, alerting me to a new email. It was from Nightmare. We had exchanged a couple of emails about organizing a resource availability. Only 1 week left until the event. I moved closer to Reed, taking advantage of not having to attend to anyone. His email said we would have an in-person meeting to settle the last few matters. I hope he doesn't make major changes. I already have several things ready. The door rang and we had to keep attending to customers. When I looked up, I was surprised to see Killer. I hadn't seen him since we met at the agency. Hey! Killer, what are you doing at the cafe? I've been curious about the taste of the cakes ever since the boss approved them. He had such a sweet tooth that he's become picky about it, so I'm taking this moment to get his opinion. Oh, to the point of coming all the way here? Didn't expect to see me here, huh? If you want, I can leave it. No, stay, please. I just didn't expect a visit. The event is this Friday. It's good to strike bonds between coworkers. If it goes well for them, we'll see each other pretty often. But if they end up liking the sweets, we'll see each other often, though I just be a customer. That's fine. I hope you enjoy whatever you order. Oh yes! I'd like to buy a medium vanilla coffee with 2 slices of cake. If I may recommend, you can choose, tres leches or matcha dessert. Tres leches? The tres leches one. Of course, I'll go with that then. Next to an Oreo one. Looks really good. Killer waited while I prepared his coffee, and I took the chosen case from the counter. But I realized I had forgotten to ask him something important. I straightened up, noticing Killer was leaning on the counter with his flawless smile. I forgot to ask you, Killer. Are you eating here or taking it to go? I'm eating here. I'm already seated and all. Is this your breakfast? Just a snack. I finished preparing the coffee and served it, along with the 2 dishes and the utensils. Killer immediately took a sip of his coffee, leaving a foam mark on his lips. Though before I could say anything, he had licked his lips. Oh, this is so good. And I didn't even add sugar. It has a natural sweetness without overpowering the coffee. It's whole bean, right? I'm used to just drinking the supermarket ones. Now, dessert. I took advantage of the fact that no customers have arrived to stay in front of him, separated by the counter. First, he tried the one that I have recommended. Ah, this one's really sweet. Not to your liking? Yes, but maybe I should order another coffee to reset my taste buds. Sorry if it wasn't what you expected. Don't apologize. Unlike the boss, I'm not a fan of sweets. I get overwhelmed by sweetness quickly. I'll make sure the menu at this event had a good range of sweetness. It's important that everyone can enjoy it. I'm glad I could help. Hey, Cross! Didn't you hear the door? There's more customers. Ah! It's true. I totally spaced. Don't worry about me. I still gotta eat that Oreo cake. Yeah, but... You know what? Enjoy your cake, Killer. Thanks. Good luck with your stuff. Killer kept at his plate, now with the Oreo one. I kept doing my own thing anyway. I was still working. I couldn't slack off. Killer finished his cakes after a while. He grabbed the check and headed to the register. There was Dust, hood up and super comfy in his seat. I couldn't help overhearing their little chat while I kept working. Here's the bill. You adding a tip? Haven't heard that in years. Who's it for? Dust pointed at me, looking the other way. For that poor guy. He has to wash his uniform every day because he can only afford one shirt. I gripped the cup in my hand, crumpling it a bit in the process. I wanted to protest, but Killer's laugh stopped me. Let's make it a 20% tip then. Why not 30%? Then he can even get a pen, though it won't have ink. Fine, make it 50% then. Killer paid and left, leaving me dumbfounded by the scene. Dust went back to his usual expression, not even bothering to glance at me. Now I knew Killer could keep up with Dust's jokes. Hope they wouldn't become friends. Well, looked like I'd be the victim. The day of the meeting with Nightmare had arrived. We had only 2 days left until the event. We had enough time to prep the ingredients and keep them fresh for the night. We had arranged to meet at the agency offices. This time I could go alone since Dust couldn't leave his post. The same receptionist as before greeted me and led me to the 3rd floor offices where Nightmare was waiting with his impeccable suit. It felt like repeating the scene of our first meeting. Then I felt calmer. Though now I felt calmer. There wasn't some scruffy guy tagging along, just looking for trouble. And from that we discussed over email. Nightmare cared about this event as much as I did. Morning, Cross. Morning. We haven't met in person since our first encounter. Makes sense. Why would we see each other otherwise? I wasn't sure it was a good idea to mention that Killer already went to the cafe, since Nightmare didn't seem to like the type of person who mixed personal life with work life. Nah, we'll not talk about... Yeah, do not tell about Killer. I said that because we've only discussed the event over emails. having in-person meetings makes dealing with things much easier. Nightmare stared at me for a few seconds. He was sitting in one of the chairs around the meeting table. He crossed his arms and legs, nodding. That's true. I also prefer face-to-face meetings. Would you prefer more meetings like this for the next event? Though I have to adjust my schedule. I think I messed up. That would be terrible for me. How could I get out of this? Face-to-face meetings were inconvenient for me since the whole process of traveling, meeting, and returning would make me lose over an hour. Nightmare cleared his throat, pulling me out of my thoughts. I don't think you like that decision. I'm not against it. It's just that, yes, I figured it's the travel. The second event is in a month, so at least having 2 in-person meetings should be fine. What do you think? It's just one more. Given his insistence, I had no choice but to agree. We started the meeting. We had no problem handling several issues. Anyway, as an agency, they took care of most things. We provided the food and waiter services. We needed to place the appetizers at... Hold on, give me a minute. We need to place the appetizers at precise times, serve the guests, and restock the tables when indicated. But knowing the client's preferences was precisely where Nightmare came in. He, in addition to organizing all services, internal and external, the employees, the deadlines and schedules, also have the responsibility of adapting to the client's preferences. The way Nightmare's hand's always on his hip is so... Ugh. Let me see that. God damn! Let me see that. God damn! Look at that. God damn! Looks like you got scoliosis, Nightmare. He passed that information on to me so I could adjust the menu. If there were changes, he would notify me by email. I know I showed you the place last time, but I only managed to show your partner a few important aspects. Let's go to the hall again. Sure. We arrived at the venue. This time, Killer wasn't there, and the tables had light blue tablecloths. As I recall, the client could customize several aspects. That made me think, how important were corporate clients? This is the only event hall, right? Yes. These tablecloths are for a graduation party, I think. Sometimes we even have 2 events a day. That must be chaotic. It is. Everything must be cleaned, changed, and organized in very tight time frames. So, they are usually from different units, so dividing work there allows us to be more efficient. It's amazing. I'm surprised our cafe has the privilege of serving the agency. Don't say it like that. In our alliance, there's no superior. It's a collaboration among equals. You're just as capable as we are. Yes. What was I thinking? We've come a long way. We're being recognized. Nightmare raised his eyebrows and stepped towards me. It's not for showing off either, but it's true they have a good track record in events and flavors. Were you the ones who tasted the cakes for the tender? Yes, they were really good. No, this one. I remember that Killer mentioned your sweet tooth, so you must have a skill in selecting a good cake. Nothing escapes Killer, but it's true. I'm not satisfied with just any sweet. Nightmare stopped at one of the tables to clean the crumbs. They were surely from another food company. I have tried many places. Only in one place have I felt the balance between sweetness and texture I'm looking for. So I congratulate you, Cross. He walked faster to the next place. I was somewhat dismayed. I didn't understand the personal congratulations. I mean, I understood the praise was because he found the perfect balance he referred to in our cafe, but it made no sense for it to be directed at me. Was Nightmare hiding something from me? Or maybe I was just overthinking. Nightmare continued showing me some parts of the hall. We entered the staff area where we could leave all supplies during the event. The back door was also there, so guests wouldn't see us entering with the trucks. Those final minutes were a bit tedious, but at least we had finished. Nightmare accompanied me to the exit again. Hello. This time your partner isn't going to take you back. No, but it won't be a problem getting back. Nightmare checked his phone before speaking again. I could drop you off. I just have some errands to run elsewhere. Thanks for the invitation, but it wouldn't be appropriate to accept. I extended my arm to shake hands. He accepted the gesture instantly. I hope to see you soon, Nightmare. You can call me Night. See you on the day of the event. There isn't much time left. See you. Goodbye, Night. I went back to the cafe. Not much longer until the event. Hello, another Ink Sans. Chapter 2 already? Holy sh... Hi, Dark Moonlight. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining the stream. Event day finally arrived. With all the desserts we had to prep, getting everything safely to the venue was going to be a real challenge. We pulled it off just in time, but I was stuck in the kitchen all day helping the team. Next time I would definitely get to the cafe way earlier. The event was set for 4 p.m. I was doing a final check around the cafe when Dust walked in looking pretty pissed off. Guess what? Someone just bailed on us. What? Tell me you're joking! Do I look like I'm laughing? Great. So what now? What about those applications? The admin team had been interviewing for new hires all week. With events this size becoming regular, we obviously needed more staff. We couldn't just abandon the cafe whenever we had a catering gig. Can't exactly call people up and say, hey, wanna work today? Won't finish interviews till next week at the earliest. Well, I'm fresh out of ideas then. Dust let out what sounded more like a growl than a sigh while I rubbed my chin, thinking. This was a mess. We should have seen something like this coming. Maybe my partner and I could handle it all ourselves, but that was wishful thinking. Even with my determination, there's no way we'd manage everything. If only we had someone else we could rely on. Dust must have read my mind because he immediately gave me the deadliest stare I've ever seen. Don't even think about it. Don't you dare say what I think you're gonna say. You're really not gonna like this. I need you to come help me out there. Hell no! I didn't sign up to be your driver or some waiter. I know that, but you know how important this event is. I'm not going. Oh, I hate making choices. No, wrong one. Okay, fuck it. I need to save right here, but I will encourage him. Hey, Dust. Look, I get that you don't like this. Just like new employees wouldn't want to be called out of the blue, we don't like these last-minute changes either. But this is an emergency. We've worked our asses off, and you have to. Oh! 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 I need to know the other responses to this one, but oh my god! I need you for this. Ridiculous. Fine, I'll do it. Would suck to lose this partnership because some idiot bailed. Hey, show some respect. Maybe they just couldn't handle the pressure. But thanks for helping out. Yeah, whatever. Dust went to grab his stuff before we left. He'd probably head straight home after the event. I'd love to do that too. Just go home, crash on my bed, and sleep for 2 days straight. But here we were. Breathe, Cross. You've got this. On the way to the event venue, I managed to give Gus a quick rundown of what we'd be doing that afternoon. He didn't seem to be paying much attention, but I knew he was listening. Oh my god, the eye strain! We had to handle part of the decorating, but luckily the venue provided all of the supplies. We set up the appetizers in the requested order, getting everything perfect and right on schedule. The main lights dimmed and background music started playing. My colleagues and I stayed in a secluded area, waiting for the guests to arrive. Gus grabbed a bar stool, dragged it over to where we were waiting, and sat down with his arms crossed. I've been to big events, but for corporate stuff, this is overkill. You think? Christ, this has as many guests as a wedding. Be glad you're staying at the drink station. You won't have to ditch that coat. Show some respect for my coat. You've got some weird grudge against it. I'll never understand your obsession with wearing it. This would be a good time to light up a smoke and tell you that you wouldn't get it. Your pop culture references won't get you out of work. While we waited for the event to start, Killer came through the staff door. Hey, how's it going? You guys ever done anything this big before? Not for corporate stuff anyway. Yeah, we were just talking about that. I was surprised at first too, but it's just companies doing corporate stuff. That doesn't tell me much. There are corporates and gala dinners between multiple companies or just one big company. On that stage, you see, they usually put the boss or company presenters to say a few words, and sometimes it goes on for an hour or two. Whether people can eat during it depends on whoever's paying for the service. Yeah, this one's a ceremony. After the speeches, guests are free to eat and mingle. At least that's what I understood from the itinerary. At least that's what I understood from the itinerary Nightmare gave me. And what do you do at these things? I'm the host, obviously. Every half hour I'll interrupt to get everyone's attention because there's speeches in between. At least for this event. You guys don't need to worry about what they're saying. Confidentiality is in the contract anyway. Alright, I'll leave you guys into it. Hi, Creative Illusions. Thank you. I'm glad you're able to join. Hi, Lynx. Hi, everybody. It's about to start and I need to be on stage. Good luck. Hope this goes by fast. I want to go for a smoke. Hold it. The main doors opened and the guests started filling in. Leading them was Nightmare, alongside another man who I assumed was the head of the other company. I started to get nervous. That was a lot of people, and only 3 pairs of hands. If all the events were going to be this big, we would really need more staff. I was grateful Dust agreed to help, or I don't know what we would have done. And that was how our afternoon began. Killer was on stage, and the first one to speak into the microphone. He gave a brief introduction before handing things over to Nightmare, who delivered a pretty impressive speech. Honestly, hopefully there would be a secret option to just fucking date all of them. That'll be fucking funny. Hi, Multi. Even though I didn't understand the topics he covered, he seemed like he was part of the fuck. It seems like he knew every guest's face, and they all known him for years. It was like he belonged with them, as if he knew every guest's face and known him for. Oh wait, even though I didn't understand how he seemed like he was part of the company that hired him. Okay. He even got thunderous applause. Clap it up for Nightmare. Clap it up for the twink. I'd say he even upstaged the actual company head. He only spent about a minute in the mic before welcoming us to the buffet. Wow, even I felt like part of the company. Quit talking to yourself and start serving the guests. Ah! Right! I headed out to offer appetizers throughout the hall. There were easily 30 people, maybe more. To me, it felt like at least 100. My trays were getting emptied pretty quickly. I had to keep rushing back to the staff room to get more stuff. I could see dust in the distance moving just as quickly. He even pulled his hood down. He was actually taking this seriously. After 20 minutes, the guests' initial hunger had died down. All that remained was the murmur of their conversations. I could finally take a break. I held the tray against my chest, looking around the venue. Among the crowd, I spotted Nightmare off to the side. He'd been talking to other people just a moment ago, so this was the first time I'd seen him free. Should I go congratulate him on the speech? Why did I just join and find out Zeph playing a Sans AU dating game? Lamau, high whisperings. Never hurts to say hello. I walked over slowly until Nightmare noticed me. He didn't seem to mind me coming over. He turned away from some people who were approaching him, making himself available. He looked the same as always, professional. Hey, that speech was incredible. It's nothing special. I'm used to it. I definitely couldn't get up on that stage and deliver a speech like that. He looks like you were the head of their company. Or do you actually know them? Don't know them all. They gave me a speech outline and info about the ceremony, then I delivered it in my own words. Great work. Thanks. Though I should praise your efforts too. I've seen you and your team work very efficiently. We've been doing this for years. We handle ourselves pretty well, don't we? Though I didn't remember anything about Dust being here. He's from HR, right? He sounded displeased to hear the news. Oh, that was kind of last minute. A co-worker quit today, so I had to ask him to give us a hand. Good thing you were able to work it out. Though I wouldn't recommend sharing those details with anyone else. Trust me, if you told the head of that company about this, he'd be very upset. Really? Sorry. I probably get too comfortable too fast. And don't share your weakness either. Ah! It's pretty complicated. Huh. He sighed, resigned, like someone who survived that war. The corporate world can be a real headache. You can rest easy knowing they're enjoying it. I haven't heard any complaints about the food so far. I'm glad to hear that. There might only be 30 guests, but they eat like 1,000. Knight raised the corner of his lips, and I mirrored the gesture. Ah, the consequences of my actions! Ah! I hope there's no ships. Ah, trust me, there's a lot of ships. I held up a hand for him to wait, then stepped away to grab 2 glasses of juice. I came back quickly with precision that came from years of carrying multiple orders at once. Don't know if you like this flavor, but how about a toast? Knight took only a second to react. His smile doesn't disappear, but it became more mischievous. I might have been the only one who caught a satisfied expression. He looks cool. He nodded. Sure. To a successful afternoon. Nightmare took one of the glasses and we made a toast, the glass clinking together gently. I took a sip and Nightmare excused himself shortly after. He had to get back to work, just like me. A few minutes later, the microphone crackled, calling the guests' attention. It was Killer who was standing in the middle of the stage. He started talking about anecdotes that the guests had written down on paper beforehand as a way to lighten the mood. In between, he threw his own stories and jokes related to what was written on the papers. His humor was at times sharp, even a bit sarcastic. He created an improvised sketch using the topics mentioned, walking that fine line between mockery and comedy. He got mixed reactions from the guests, including laughter. And I found that kind of humor pretty entertaining. It was definitely a skill that could make more people laugh. Or at least that's how it seemed to me. The fuck did Kara do? The fuck did Kara do? People always blaming Kara. God damn it. As I walked around the hall to restock supplies, I could see the smiles in the guest's face. I had to congratulate him. He had done such a good job. The sketch only lasted a few minutes. Then another important person from the company took the stage to give their speech. I noticed Killer had gone into the staff room, so I took the opportunity to head over there since I needed to talk to him. Oh my god, I love these! These are so cute! Oh, hey Cross. Hey Killer. Amazing act. I could barely keep from laughing. Glad you liked the show. Most of it's just improv. Though I saw some guys making faces while I was talking. Really? Well, not everyone has the same sense of humor. That's what makes it a challenge. The fewer complaints I get, the less trouble I'll be in. Trouble? It's not that serious. But I almost always get at least one complaint. Doesn't that put your job at risk? In life, you gotta take risks. And if the boss hasn't fired me yet, it's because I'm not doing it wrong. Don't you think? Guess that's true. I liked your act, so you're not doing it wrong. That's all I needed to hear. During our conversation, I restocked some of the appetizer trays. Oh, while we're here, Killer, want some cake? I noticed this one's going fast and you might not get a chance to try it. You're really giving me some? Go ahead. I picked up a bit from the cake with a fork and held it out for Killer to take a bite of the dessert. However, I didn't expect him to lean in and eat the bite straight from my hand. Oh my. Hey, this is good. No wonder it's the first thing to go. Thanks a lot. Killer walked out the door, leaving me stunned. That was unexpected. Little by little, Killer's personality was coming out around me. I let it go and went back to work. Yeah, Kara slander is not tolerated. I love Kara. I walked through the room back to the refreshments area where Dust was. Too bad, Bingus. I'm sorry that you're late. Also, guys, these fuckers really want Cross's ass. They want his ass. They're like, he's such a very intriguing guy. I want him. However, I was surprised to see Dust talking with one of the guests. Guys, it's horror! Actually, it didn't look like a friendly conversation. It's amusing to see you like this. Like a waiter all disheveled. What you have to do to end up here, huh? Ugh, get out of my sight. You're interrupting my work. Your work. Right. It's very important that you stay in your place. Quiet without causing any trouble. Finally learning that lesson? I don't care what you say. Can you just grab your drink and get lost? Better yet, get completely out of here. The stranger had a cracked skull. It wasn't the first time I'd seen a skeleton with that kind of damage. Sometimes our kind get bone damage from traumatic events. It's normal to see someone like that. But something about this guy gave me the chills. Not just the Sans dating sim. It's Cross as our main protagonist. Even so, I couldn't leave Dust like this. Knowing his short temper, he might blow up at this guy's words. Uh-oh. Do I interfere? Do I not interfere? Well, we saved. It's my choice anyway. Sir, I need to ask you to not bother the staff. That was all I could manage to say. The stranger turned around. You can call me Horror. I was just having a chat with an old acquaintance. Though judging by your uniform, you two must know each other. That's right. Please, continue enjoying yourself at the event. Alright. Why don't you show me where there are more raspberry cakes? They're quite delicious. Of course. Dust didn't say anything during the whole exchange, but he kept staring at me as I led Horror away. I gave him a thumbs up behind my back, hoping he got the message. Thanks for showing me the way. His words might have been polite, but his tone was much more bitter. Not a good combination. It's nothing. Actually, I don't think there are any raspberry cakes left on the table. But if you give me a moment, I can check the kitchen. That won't be necessary. I know you wanted to get me away from Dust. I just played along. Oh, I'd like to talk to you. What's your name? Cross. A pleasure. Does your company provide bartending services? No, we're at a cafe that provides dessert catering services. If you're interested in events, I can get you a business card. No, that's not necessary. He stayed quiet for a moment. Now I couldn't find a way to slip away. Things aren't like you think. Things aren't like you think they are. That man is no saint. I figured he was talking about Dust. He used to work at the same place I did, but he did awful things that cost me my job and ruined my entire life. I know Dust isn't exactly a model citizen, but to the extent Horror was claiming? I don't know anything about that. Of course not. He wouldn't tell you about his faults. Want to hear that story? That's it! That's it! I need a save. I need save. I will reject this. Thanks for wanting to tell me, but I'm afraid I don't want to hear the story, especially not while I'm on the clock. Is that so? I guess even if I told you, you wouldn't believe me anyway. Enjoy your evening. If you'd like a dessert recommendation, you can find me or my coworker. I walked away quickly. I needed to help my coworkers since the appetizers were running low again. I just hoped Horror wouldn't bother Dust again. About an hour of intense work passed. The whole time I saw Dust looking pretty tense. He couldn't look at anyone, and even put his hood up. He drew several stares, but I couldn't blame him. I could tell his reunion with Horror hadn't done him any good. Only a few minutes left for the event to end, and there were no more incidents. The final words were given, and several guests had already left. Anyway, there were no more appetizers left, just abandoned crumbs on the dessert table. As I prepared to start cleaning up, I saw Dust sitting on the bar stool he'd claimed since the beginning of the event. Did you know that if you mix a cat that likes to chat with a hat and a mat, you get a cat that likes to chat wearing a hat and what the fuck? His shoulders were hunched, hiding almost his entire head in his hood. In the light, I could barely make out his face in the shadows. Okay, here's what's funny, right? I understand that there's like you know, like paths, like there's like paths and routes on who you want to be with in this game. I think I am doing all of them at this point. I have a feeling it's gonna go to the fucking poly relationship thing. But I know it probably doesn't exist in this game. But it's kind of funny how it's like, I always go and comfort them, or I always go to them. And it's like, like, we want you. Go to him. I approached him. I grabbed one of the chairs the guests had been using, covered with a white tablecloth, and dragged it over to sit in front of Dust. I sat backwards in the chair with the back seat against my chest. Since my seat was lower than his, I had to look up at him. Oh, that's cute! Hey, finance guy. I got his attention with that nickname. I didn't usually use it in front of him, but it was a common nickname among coworkers. What do you want? How was your experience as a waiter? Horrible. I need a smoke. Go through the whole pack. Oh, come on. You barely even moved. You were just serving juice and regular coffee the whole time. Standing still makes me want to rot my lungs even worse. And I'll remind you, I was also serving sweets. Only got to stand till the end, still at the end. Stick to your own thing, pastry boy. He shifted, showing his face better, but he was still somewhat hidden behind his shoulders. I sighed, trying not to get angry. Did you at least try anything? Nah. What's the point? Maybe something sweet would distract from your smoking cravings. I get diabetes faster than I get bone cancer from smoking. Smoking is healthier in comparison. At least to relax. Wow, you really are messed up. And you're easily distracted. Don't think I didn't see you fluttering around behind those agency guys. I'd say even I worked more than you did. Even then, you can't beat me in productivity. Though it's true I got a bit distracted. At least everything worked out. It will once I get my smoke break. I'm gonna get some air. You mean pollute yourself? Dust rolled his eyes and got up from his chair. Throughout the whole conversation, I kept my chin resting on the backrest. I had to stretch to straighten out my spine and get back to what I was doing. Same, I love the art style. Cross, you better have a game break. No customers were left. The lights came on and the whole room lit up with a bright glow. After collecting the last of our cafe equipment, Killer appeared clapping his hands to get everyone's attention. Hey, this turned out incredible! Are y'all ready to celebrate? Celebrate? That's right, I'd completely forgotten about that. If everything went well, the team was going to eat at a restaurant to celebrate. I liked the idea, so I didn't refuse to go. I liked that we were included too, even though we were part of the catering services. It's okay, Bingus, thank you for joining. Unlike the cleaning crew who Nightmare was working with at the back in the room, they were also from an outside company that participated in the bidding. Das, who had been checking on his phone at the time, looked up. I'll pass. Don't be like that, buddy. The place ain't expensive, if you're worried about that. I don't care about that. Cross is the broke one here. What was that free attack for? There's also a smoking area. I thought he might win him over with that. Actually, our company will be covering this. It exceeded our standards requirements enough to consider this event a success. Killer raised his eyebrows and seemed to bounce it out his feet, leaving the ground, thrilled by the wonderful news. Really? We haven't pulled that off in ages. Knight appeared almost out of nowhere. He looked normal, but I sensed his tone was slightly more cheerful. That victorious atmosphere meant our cafe was also coming out as a winner. That's great. It is. What do you think, Dust? You gonna come now that it's free food? Dust looked cornered by his persistence. I backed up Killer by looking at him too. If he turned us down, it would really kill the mood. Can't say no to that. My God, Dust, why do you look so fucking hot, man? You look so hot, dude. Look at him. Look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. Oh, so hot. So your weakness is free food, ain't yours? I think everyone's got that weakness. Don't you think, boss? Depends on who you're offering that free meal. I wouldn't be picky about either the person or the food. I'd risk asking how many problems you've gotten yourself into because of that. But I need a few minutes to change clothes. It wouldn't be ideal to go out like this. And I've sweated way more than I'd like. Sure thing. Let's all meet up at the exit in a few minutes. I'll head out first then. I need to supervise the cleanup. I didn't even get to say how many minutes. He's the boss. He's the boss. I'm going to. See you in 10. Aren't you gonna change? No, I don't sweat as much as Cross. I heard that! Then let's chat outside. I think that suits you better, right? Now you're getting it. FNF, Undertale FNF, what did I said about flirting? Please stop. It's actually making me uncomfortable. Please stop. We headed to the restaurant, which was a spacious place. Several people joined us, mainly part of the... I apologize. Mainly part of the event agency team that worked behind the scenes. Plus us three from the cafe. In total, we were 8 people. Despite that, I didn't feel uncomfortable. The guy... Is this a demo? If this is a demo, I'm gonna cry. So many cool dating stays as a demo I hated. Actually, Bingus, this game actually just came out, so it is a demo. But I know for a fact that this person is continuing the game. For a demo, it actually has a lot of content. I'm not joking. I understand that it was a question, FNF Undertale FNAF, but you don't need to always sound like you're flirting. I'm sorry, okay? I don't mean to be rude. It's just how it is. I'm sorry. Despite that, I didn't feel... Okay, I actually... Dust had stayed quiet most of the time, eating from his plate. Hi, Gino! Nightmare was also silent. In the end, those two guys had similarities, being reserved. I want to play this game so badly. The game is called Cafe Drop. You can play this for free, actually. Itch.io. You can download it for free. What have I just walked into? Gay people. Killer suddenly got everyone's attention by standing up. He turned towards my group and me, making it clear he was speaking directly to us. My colleagues and I are used to seeing different faces every time we do events. That's really bummed us out because we never actually get to know the team. When we found out about the bidding, we got excited and nervous. We could have expected anything, but we could say our boss chose well. He did an impeccable job. This afternoon, we never ran out of food or drinks, nobody complained about the quality, and they even complimented the boss on the good work. So I propose a toast, hoping this competition ends with you guys becoming part of our day-to-day as an event agency. That is, if you want the same thing. Where can you download it? I need it. It's called Cafe Drop. Cafe Drop by Maru. This person. You can download it for free. You can download it for free. Just click no thanks. Just take me to the downloads, and you have this already right here. But if you guys want to see me play the game, you can continue doing so. There are many choices in the game, so take this as this is my playthrough. So I'm really excited how your guys' playthrough will go. Anyway. Given my future position as event coordinator, I felt obligated to be the one to respond for my colleagues. Pride swelled through me from receiving the praise. Despite all the sacrifice, everything had gone well. I looked at my colleagues, knowing they agreed. We hope to keep working with you as well. It's been a great experience. Cheers! We all toasted. Oh my god! Nice fit, Cross! I'ma smack that ass! Anyway. Hi, Killer. A brief moment passed, and I was already finishing my meal. My feet throbbed from being on the move for hours without a break. Once I got home, I was gonna collapse in the bed and rest completely. I deserved it. Cross. Suddenly, I heard my name being called. I looked up to find Nightmare staring at me. It was probably the first time he's spoken during the whole gathering. Must have been something important he wanted to tell me. I can't help being curious. Were you wearing that necklace during the event? I looked at what he was referring to. My necklace with a heart pendant the size of a strawberry. It was big, but flat and lightweight. It usually didn't bother me to wear it. No, I put it on after work. You do that pretty much every day? Killer jumped into the conversation easily. He was always paying attention so he could stick his nose into every chat. Yeah? So you only wear it like 4 hours a day? Yeah? That's an unnecessary waste of energy in my opinion. So I understand being fascinated with an accessory. See my brooch? It's one of a kind. I'd like to always have it on with all my outfits. One day he forgot to put it on his work coat and he went crazy. So crazy he almost ditched an event because he thought his pin was lost in the meeting room. Yeah, they almost fired me. The person I least expected to be paying attention to the conversation laughed at that statement. But how can you be so obsessed with such a simple accessory? I wasn't the only one who stared at him. You're kidding, right? You've also got an accessory they couldn't pry off you with a crowbar. This is clothing, not an accessory. But you use it like an accessory. Wow. While we're at it, out of all these obsessions, that's the worst and least discreet one. Dust shrugged. Now I've got someone to compete with to see which one of us will give you more trouble with our accessory and clothing obsessions. No, please. It was obvious Dust would win because of how indiscreet and informal he looked. At least Killer's accessory was a brooch that actually gave him personality. So now that I thought about it, Nightmare, don't you have any accessories or clothing that you're attached to, Night? No, I don't wear much variety in clothing either. I wash it frequently. That's where we get into another type of obsession. Not clothes or accessories, but sweets. I remember one day he was eating strawberry cake and let out this squawk. The whole team got scared by his complaint. Turns out he got in the cavity. A cavity? Killer started laughing. The team did too. It must have been pretty comfortable to tease their boss like that. If I had to choose between the Bruges, the sweets, and the hood, which obsession would I keep? I'm saving that, but I will go with desserts! Wasn't much of a mystery that I'd lean towards this one. There's a reason I'm a pastry chef. I make sweets, and I love chocolate. Though my passion was more about creating sweets. Knight's was eating them. We were lucky he's passionate and likes what we do. We take this contract as our price. Speaking of obsessions, I'm gonna go smoke. Killer, where'd you say the smoking room is? Over there, way in the back. Killer pointed to the way with his hand. Sorry. Dust stood up and left. From what I could see, it was some kind of terrace. Terrace. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kill me. Hey, your bio says you're a crossbar shipper. Man, I wonder what she's picking. Shut up, Edgy. Shut up, Edgy. That's when what had happened with horror crossed my mind. I knew Dust had been shaken up for most of the events because of that encounter. I didn't think he got over it that quickly. And all this time, I never gotten along so well with Dust. We spend our time arguing or just act like we don't care about each other's existence. But I shouldn't underestimate him. He's important to the team. Yeah, I'm gonna be a good person, I guess. Lately, I've had to interact with him more. Oh, the lighting is so beautiful! Oh, it's so good! I approached the balcony. Fortunately, Dust was alone. From inside the restaurant, it still seemed bright, but the sky was completely dark, the warm lights from inside blending into the bluish tones of the night. He was in the corner, to no one's surprise, smoking. What are you doing back there? Dust took a puff before looking at me. Smoking, obviously. See you later! See you later, Temptation. No, it's obvious you're smoking. I mean, you know, tucked away back there. Just because. I should be asking what you're doing here. As far as I know, you don't smoke. I didn't come here to smoke. Actually, I came to see how you were doing. Dust went quiet for a moment. This was my chance to get closer. I walked over to him and leaned against the railing, looking towards the horizon just like Dust. Dust sighed, understanding I wouldn't leave until he told me at least something. Blue is perfect for this, right? Terrible. That bastard ruined what's left of my day. It was clear he was talking about horror. That skeleton in a suit with a cracked skull. I almost said crackhead skull. That skeleton with the crackhead skull. Oh. Yeah, the style is amazing. I love it. Possibly one of my favorite artists. He had intimidated me quite a bit when we were alone for a moment. Good thing I had managed to get away from him. Did you know each other? Unfortunately. He was my old co-worker. He was corrupt. And in my opinion, he still is. Let's hope not. I don't care what he does. It's been years since then. I wasn't expecting to see him. Never wanted to see him again in my life. Crackhead skulls on my contact in my phone! Yes, horror's a Zeppelin, guys, trust. The story ended there. It seemed fair not to push him further. It was a big step that he had told me something about himself. I could feel satisfied with that. You know, Dust, years have passed and you only just ran into each other now, it means it was pure coincidence. It would be sad if he showed up again. He'd just be desperate. So you don't need to worry about that guy. You got a point there, I know. But it won't get rid of that bad taste in my mouth. You'll keep having that if you keep smoking. I rubbed my forehead. There was no way this guy was giving up his bad habits. Let's take advantage of the free food and order something else. Dust put out a cigarette and nodded. Yeah, plus it's too damn cold out here for my liking. I'll pretend to believe that excuse and not because you like my idea. You say that like you're buying. We both headed back into the restaurant. Yeah. Hi, Ollie. I left somewhat rejuvenated from the fresh air. I could keep eating the fries that were left on the table. Dust sat down with our colleagues, including him in the conversation. As I was about to sit down, I noticed Nightmare wasn't there. Had he already left? I sat next to Killer, taking advantage of the fact that the seat was free. Killer smiled wildly when he saw me. How's the evening treating ya? Not bad at all. The food here is really good. I could visit again sometime. Oh no, keep this place as your celebration spot. That way it'll always feel like a reward for success. Well, if we don't ruin the contest, I'll come back. If we do win, then it'll be like you said. No, it's not Mocha. Do you guys remember the depressive Ink AU? This is the same person who created this game. Come on, Cross. Come on, Cross. You already got it in the bag. You already got it locked down. Think of this celebration as a victory. I would, really, but there's something nagging me. Did the other place at least have a real shot, or were they just chosen to follow protocol? Killer fell silent for a moment and picked up his glass, which was nearly empty. He shrugged. Would you feel better if I told you I don't know? It was the boss' call to pick them, but it also depended on the result of the event. Yeah, if they'd screwed up, the other place would have had their shot. So the credit goes to the guy for impressing the boss. And us too, of course. Nobody in the department is against the choice. I guess looking at it that way does make me feel better. Yeah, your health is important, Cross. So let's drink to your health. By the way, guys, the sprites, I know it's made in Ibis Paint. I'm not joking. The sprites here, like the character sprites, they're made in Ibis Paint. Yeah, the same art program that I use. I'm a failure. He raised his glass in the toast, and I picked up what I had ordered earlier. I didn't know how many toasts I made. Probably more than I'd done in my entire life. But I didn't mind it. Killer stayed quiet for a moment and pulled out his phone. I thought it was the first time he'd done that all evening, but he didn't even unlock it. Looked like he was just checking the time. He turned to me. Hey, Cross, can I steal you for the last few minutes of this get-together? Sure, I guess. What do you mean by that? Getting out of here and heading home. Together. But me to my place and you to yours. Let's not skip steps. I'm not sure my co-workers would be okay with that. I looked away thoughtfully. Actually, I was theoretically the one in charge. If we went back to pack things up, it would be really late for everyone. And there wasn't anything perishable to worry about. Besides, I'd like to have a quieter conversation outside the venue. Killer waited expectantly for my final answer, so I nodded slowly. Alright. Just let me tell my coworker. Sounds good. I'll do the same. Hello, miss. Welcome back. I hope you went home safely. We each said our goodbyes and left. I was actually surprised by how easily and quickly we had managed to leave. Was it natural? I didn't know. We walked along the sidewalk, straight to the train. Whoa, look at that, so cute! I'm glad I brought my coat. It's pretty chilly tonight. Is your jacket warm enough? It's thin, but my sweater and shirt keeps the cold out, though I prefer wearing my other coat. It's got really comfy fleece lining in the hood. I'd like those kinds of coats too. We both blurted out they're warm. At the same time, we couldn't help but laugh. We slowed down, just to squeeze in a bit more conversation before going our separate ways. From the very start, talking with Killer has been fun. Even if he did seem to click with Dust. You know, Killer, I wanted to ask you something. Only if you let me ask one back. Sure, you know. Had you met Dust before? That time, you two seemed pretty lively. Oh? Oh, you mean back at the cafe, right? Met him the same day I met you. Talking to him at the cafe flipped a switch in me, like the old days. I don't usually hang out with people who've got that sharp of a sense of humor. The problem is, most of it's aimed at me. Killer raised his brows. Oh, I thought that's just how you two worked. Mutual banter. You mean ganging up on the poor pastry shaft? Killer stopped mid-sentence, took a deep breath, and put on that almost fixed smile of his. I'm really sorry, Cross. I'd never use my humor to hurt someone. See you later, V. Stay safe. Cross's man is missing. Yeah, we need Nightmare again. Come on. If I made you feel bad, I truly am sorry. Let me make it up to you. No. Knowing you didn't mean it is enough. I can take a joke too. Just keep being yourself. I felt back in step with Killer, and he kept talking. Something felt different, like my words had actually sunk in. Thanks. So, can I ask my question now? Go ahead. Can I get your number? Oh! I'd like to make it up to you. Take you out sometime. Somewhere outside of work would be nice. He stressed the word outside. If I go to your cafe, I'll leave with swollen bones. I didn't know how he made everything sound so natural. From what I'd seen, making friends came easy to him. Where'd I fall on his friends list? Number 100? I shook my head, then quickly raised my hand so Killer wouldn't take it the wrong way. Alright, I'll give it to you. I rattled off my number, and he looked satisfied. Thanks a ton. I'll come up with something fun, and you'll get my very best exclusive jokes. A private show like a private show sounds like a pretty good trade-off. Careful what you wish for, because I can talk for hours without a drop of water. Prize or punishment? Killer burst out laughing, and I felt relieved. I got the feeling Killer really tried to make everyone like him, and it worked. I was glad I could call him a friend. We went down to the station, but he had to head other ways, so we said our goodbyes and split up. It was a good talk. I didn't regret taking a separate route from him. He was easy to be around, and the conversation just flowed. I wonder if I get to know him better. My god, that's where it ended? If you're interested in the full game, yeah, the full game. Yeah, you see that right there? I don't know who that is. I think that's supposed to be Ink or Stave, which is one of, Stave is one of, Maru's original characters. Let's see. Now I need to look at the other stuff. What if I choose Dust's hood? I'm not a fan of those hoodies, much less wearing them during formal hours. If I had to defend him, at least it looks good on Dust. It's already part of him. If I saw him without his hood, I wouldn't recognize him. So please, Dust, if you ever get lost, never take off your hood, because I'll put up photos of you wearing on it every lamppost. Alright. Alright, let's load. Alright, let's load Killer's Bruges. I go with the Bruges. What's the healthiest obsession I thought? I didn't know if I'd freak out that much if I lost my necklace, even though I've had it for many years. Maybe his had more emotional weight. There's always the possibility someone special had given it to him. Alright. Alright, let's load, Load! What if I say nothing? I'd rather stay silent. Arguing won't get me anywhere. All this stuff is doing okay. What? Dust suddenly scrutinized me. You've been staring at me like some weirdo. I didn't realize I've been looking at him the whole time while thinking. No, nothing. I spaced out. Hope it's not contagious. Ugh, shut up. Okay. Okay, what if I load and, what if I try a strategic response? Alright, so everyone depended on this. Dust had prior experience with this kind of negotiation. At first I was coming along, but he insisted on accompanying me for logistical support. That was convenient since I could review the key points along the way. Nightmare nodded, agreeing with what I said. Did you need a last-minute review? No, not at all. Collaboration is very important for both the cafe and me. My goal as an experienced event organizer is to make sure you're satisfied with our services. I hope so. That's why I trusted you. His words lingered in the air, loaded with a meaning I couldn't decipher. In fact, my focus on him shifted suddenly when the corners of his mouth curved slightly, as if inviting me to interpret what he meant. In me? You trust me? What exactly does that mean? You've proven to be interesting, Cross. And let's say I have a good eye for recognizing potential. A shiver ran down my spine. There was something in his tone that suggested he knew more than he let on. In me, Nightmare trusted me. In you? In you, Cross? In you? The conversation couldn't continue because Dust's car had stopped right in front of us. Nightmare raised a hand farewell. Okay, I didn't know how to feel. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the one where I chose the other option. Yeah, look how hot this looks. My goodness. Wait. Okay, wait. I need to look what it. Okay, I need to know what it's. Okay. Sorry, guys. I need to. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay. And soon dust turned off the engine. So, we have 2 events before securing the collaboration. Yes, read through the contract papers, then give them back to me. Dust unlocked the door and made a move to get out of the car. I mimicked him. He didn't look that happy, which was normal. I had to hold him back in front of people far more important than us. It was necessary. Dust lit a cigarette. Don't wait for me. I'm taking my break now. Okay. I'll see you upstairs. I continued up the stairs. The day didn't stop. I would take my time reading the contracts and then continue with my work. Next day, got more information. Dust sent me copy, email, la la. And the video as well. Hope it's nothing serious. Okay. Okay, la 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 la. Okay. Skipping all of this one. Matcha. Oh! Nice! There's the matcha one. It's really good. Really tasty. He hadn't finished saying what then He hadn't finished saying that when he was already shoving another piece into his mouth. I'm glad you liked it. It really is, he said with his mouth full. He swallowed. Never thought that tea could be used in cakes too. And you make this here? Yep. Who baked it? I actually made that one. Well, I love it. Congrats, Cross. You made one for making the best desserts in the whole country. Nah, it's not that big a deal. But hey, I appreciate it. Hey, Cross. Did you hear the door? There's more customers. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is... Okay. What if I say I'll be back? I'll be back. Yeah. I won't budge. When you get back, I'll tell you what I think of this Oreo cake. I felt a lot of emphasis on the word Oreo, but I let it focus on the other customers. Till I finished cakes after a while, headed to the register, it was dusted up, copy your seat, then up under. Look at him, he's so hot! Alright. Yeah, don't talk about kill. Okay. I hope to see you soon. Encourage him. I need to encourage you. What if I say we... What if I say we... What if I say we need you? You're more than qualified. You've been to events before and you know how things work. Would have preferred if you said you needed me. But I'll get another chance for that. So is that a yes? Yeah, you guys been baking like crazy for 2 days. Suck to lose that partnership for some idiots, but... Hey, show some respect. Maybe you just couldn't handle the pressure. Thanks for helping me out. Yeah, whatever. Congratulate him. Toast. Part of the laughter. Offer cake. Oh no. Oh! Oh shit! Oh shit, what if I don't interfere? I need to just keep walking. Dust could handle himself. Who was I kidding? I needed to step in. Sir, I need to ask you to not bother the staff. Oh! Look at this smug bitch! Oh. Oh yeah, well because I'm looking at the other parts. I'm sorry, Dust. I knew it wasn't the best idea to sit there listening to a story that didn't concern me from a complete stranger. But I've always been curious about Dust's life. Didn't know anything beyond his hours at the cafe, and we barely talked during our shifts anyway. Was it too much to ask just to know a little more? A lack of response made him a much taller, intimidating man, let out a rather chilling laugh. I can see you're intrigued. I'll tell you. Horror moved a little closer to me. I kept myself rigid. Oh damn! Oh! Oh damn! Oh damn! Oh damn! Look at it! Oh damn! Where's the H? A few years ago, I worked at another company, and my closest colleague was Dust. Actually, he's the closest I ever came to calling someone a friend. So more than just a colleague. We were both climbing the corporate ladder. In less than 2 years, we already had prominent positions. Or took a used glass that only had a thin trace of drink left at the bottom. He gently swirled the glass, making a tiny amount of liquid slosh around. I became mesmerized by the swirling motion of the liquid. Oh, fuck! Sorry. However, Horror continued with a more serious tone of voice. He extended the glass towards me. I took it without thinking. I got promoted before he did. Dust was outraged about it and started spreading rumors about me. He falsified evidence, did everything he could, and he succeeded. I lost my job, lost everything I worked so hard to build. That statement was harsh enough to startle me. Dust did all of that just out of jealousy? I had to take this with a grain of salt. I couldn't find the words. Nothing came out of my mouth. To tell the truth, whether the story was fake or not, this guy's tone was terrifying me. It wasn't because of his cracked skull. It was that single eye socket where a bright red pupil glowed. His presence didn't let me react properly. Hard to believe, I know. I'll leave you to think about my story, so it doesn't happen to you. The moment you start advancing at that cafe of yours, Dust won't be happy at all, and he'll look for ways to destroy your dreams. Oh, God. I don't like the sound of— oh, hi, lovelies. Shush, lovelies, okay? Nightmare save your man! What if I say, get away? That's a terrible story. I'm sorry you had a bad experience. From what I can see, you managed to recover well. It's good. I need to get back to work now. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. I didn't let him continue. I couldn't let him keep talking to my coworker like that, and I definitely couldn't let him steal more precious work time from me. Maybe it was the wrong idea to listen to him in the first place. Now I needed to help my coworker since the appetizers were running low again. Huh. Okay. Okay. Sorry, what if I go back and believe him? I shook my head. No, I shouldn't believe him. Something about him makes me feel strange. The fact that he should have passed with Dust where Dust was the villain shouldn't affect me. If I had any doubts, I should talk to Dust. I think that's enough for now. You should get back to work. What did you say your name was? Cross. I hope we meet again. Don't forget what I've told you. He could stab you in the back at any moment. And he left. Oh my God. So we won't run to Dust either. Dear fucking God. Okay. My mind kept wandering back to the conversations with Horror. No matter how bold his words were, it had been very shocking to hear that my coworker had such a dark history. And the worst part, I wasn't sure to ask if I should ask him about it. The whole time I saw Dust looking pretty okay. Let him rest. You probably wanted some alone time. Hey, shut up, Bijou Mike. Anyways, our cleanup duty was just collecting trays. Okay, so I'm gonna handle. Okay. La 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 la. Dessert. If I went, nothing would change. He was an adult. He could handle it on his emotions. There was even a chance he'd tell me to get lost. He was definitely capable of that. I stay seated, drink in my hand. This was a special moment to split up however we preferred. I refrained from checking my phone this time since after the excitement of the day, I wanted to keep interacting with my hopefully future colleagues. On one side, I saw Nightmare at one of the corners of the table. As I expected, he didn't seem very affected by Killer's energy and his teammates. He just listened and occasionally checked his phone. So I felt his gaze on me from time to time, so fleeting that I never managed to catch his eye. This looked like the perfect opportunity to talk with him. The warm celebratory atmosphere was perfect for relaxing, at least that's how I saw it. On the other hand, there was Killer, the main source of everyone's laughter. I could have easily joined their conversations given how he's treated me. I felt like part of them, just another member of the group. It's up to me to decide who will spend the rest of the evening with. Ha! I know who! Nightmare! You think I'll waste this opportunity? This is a crossbear! We're going the crossbear route once this game is finished. I moved my chair closer to Knight's seat. The seats around us were empty, giving us a little private space where only we could hear each other. Do you usually throw these kinds of celebrations? Only for big events. like today's. It happens once a month. If it were more frequent, I wouldn't be able to afford their salaries. He would also be invited for future celebrations. That's true. I definitely couldn't afford it. He had mentioned big events. If he won this contest, I understand we'd also be part of smaller catering events that didn't require much logistics or food. Don't worry, everybody. Once the game, like, if or when this game is fully finished, I will actually do a full playthrough of all routes. That includes, yeah, like all routes, like Nightmare's route, Killer's route, Dust's route, Ink or Stave's route. Yeah. Wonder where Binkus went. Suits. It would be like the events we usually did at the cafe, but better paid. That was the advantage. And as we discussed at the agency, a free dinner happens once in 500. That surprises me. If I may ask, doesn't it usually go well? It always goes well with acceptable and expected parameters, but perfect is different. A person will always find something wrong with what they didn't do it themselves. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we will get Nightmare's route first. This is the Crossmare route. This is our route. Remember our channel. Remember our channel status, guys. A person will always find something wrong with what they didn't do themselves. Now imagine if there are over 30 people involved. There will be a complaint, or worse, there's leftover food, and for safety reasons, we have to throw it out. I knew what that was like. We often had leftovers, and to keep it from spoiling, we'd put huge discounts on it, hoping to sell everything before it expired. What I hated most was having to throw food away. Once we tried having the whole team eat the leftovers, but after that I could barely eat anything sweet again. I know. I once tried having the team eat the leftovers, but after that they could barely touch a canopy for weeks. What's with that face? I laughed. I was just thinking about a similar experience. I couldn't help being surprised we thought the same thing. Really? Well, we both deal with food, after all. The bad part was realizing it wasn't the healthiest thing either. Because of all the sweets? That'll never be a problem. The problem is making them eat food that could have handled by clients or contain ingredients they're allergic to. The canopies especially. A former employee ate something that sent him to the hospital. Apparently, he didn't check the canopy ingredients and had an allergic reaction. Ooh. That's why we leave the cleanup to outside contractors. The process for the cocktail meals included an extensive list of preferences and restrictions, including allergies. If any client had allergies or intolerances, we didn't have options for them. I do hope there would be a poly one. Because that'll be funny. At least this time, nothing was left over. Actually, there was. Really? I didn't see anything. There were 2 slices of cake left, but I ate them. If it's not too personal, Knight, how many cakes did you eat at this event? That's highly confidential information. Somehow, his little smile was contagious. Though the quiet didn't last long, his next word caught me off guard. The cakes your cafe made were really good, and especially the ones you made. Huh? How do you know which? That you're my pastry chef? That you're my pastry chef? My! Nightmare. Ooh. He asked while already knowing the answer, without needing to lean forward. He didn't need to say it like a secret. He said it firmly and calmly. I haven't had a chance to go personally, but I knew about the place before the bidding process, so I allowed myself the luxury of requesting extra information to find out who was making my desserts. You mean... Yes, Cross. I already knew about the cafe before this contest even existed. I swallowed hard, trying to organize my thoughts. He swore that little liquid remained in his glass, acting casual so no one would expect anything. I discovered it when I ordered a cake online, and from that moment, I never stopped buying from there. I've been buying from there for maybe a year now. Oh, for fuck's sake! I've been buying from there for maybe a year now. I even pay extra tips to request that a certain chef made my order. The revelation hit me like lightning. My eyes were about to pop out of their sockets from the shock. How could he tell me something like this in front of everyone? You're the anonymous buyer. Whispering loudly or chatting quietly, I didn't know, whichever was louder. Wow, that's where those orders were coming from. I never imagined they were from you. I left in disbelief. It almost seems like a joke. This changed everything. The atmosphere between us could transform into a strange kind of familiarity. So, you order cakes for 4 people. Do you share them with your team? Though Killer would have already known the taste of her cakes if that were the case. No, they're all for me. Ah, greedy bitch! This greedy bitch! He ordered 4 cakes just for himself. Honestly, a mood. So if I get diabetes, I'll send you the bill. Hey, I'm not taking responsibility for your cavities. Nightmare held back a laugh before his lips curved into a genuine smile. I couldn't help myself but smile too. It was incredible how things worked out. I always have a soft spot for that anonymous buyer because of the support and loyalty he had shown us. Nightmare must have selected us in the bidding because he had a clear preference. But did that count as cheating? Either way, I had no idea I was making cakes for the very person in charge of the bidding. Exactly, guys, exactly. This is the greed they speak of in the Bible. This is the greed. I'm glad you caught on, Mocha-tail. That's why you got a cavity. Fucking bitch. Nightmare took a sip of his drink, which seemed to have already gone flat. Looks like you're out of your drink. Should I call the waiter to order more? I'm thirsty. I have another idea. Let's go grab a drink. You mean at the bar? Yes, it might be quieter there. Killer's shouting is drowning out your voice. It was true that Killer was talking pretty loudly with the others. It was getting hard to hear Nightmare over the noise. Alright, sounds good. The bar had 2 empty seats. Fortunately, the noise level was lower than what Killer was making, so it was a good spot. Hi, Star. We sat down and looked over at what we could order. Wow, the drink menu was extensive. It had everything you could want. And a bit expensive. This wouldn't be covered by the company. Really? It would be on me. I think Nightmare is asking Cross out. I really appreciate that then. I looked down at the menu and selected a small drink for the occasion. I'd only had non-alcoholic drinks before. I knew he was giving me the freedom to choose what I wanted, and I was sure he could afford it without any problems, but I wouldn't want to take advantage either. Knight also ordered alcohol. Do you drive? Yes, but this isn't very strong. It's almost insulting to say this even contains alcohol. Well, in your defense, there are cakes and sweets with more liquor than some cocktails. Exactly. There's some chocolates with quite a bit of liquor in them. I've eaten whole packages of them before. I think I know which ones you mean. Do they sell them in stores? Yeah, even kids can buy them. Or so I think. Well, like I said, this is a demo, so it's not the full game. But oh my god. Yeah, he wants to hear Cross's voice. Ooh. Ooh. So they wouldn't give them a breathalyzer test since they don't drive. In theory. At least I was already driving at 15. I never had the opportunity. I think you have to make your own opportunities. Waiting for them to come might or might not work. There's no way I could have had a car at 15. There's no way I could have had a car at 15. He did? Let's just say driving isn't my priority. Right now, That's alright. That's alright, Star. Thank you for joining anyway. Right now, I've put all my energy into making these events go well. Killer already said it. You've practically got it in the bag. We've got our drinks, but before I could take mine to try it, Knight's hand settled over my... Oh? That startled me.
This is the greed they're talking about in the Bible. My greed. This is my greed, everybody. This is my greed that I talk about in the Bible. Oh, I'm so glad we get to have this. This is the greed I talk about in the Bible.
Take this gesture as a compliment. Ever since I tasted your cakes, I've had a great interest in what you do. At first it was because of your pastries, yes, but then I had the honor of meeting you in person.
This is what Seth lives for. Yes, creative. Yes.
Even though it was through the bidding papers that I learned you were the representative pastry chef, when I saw you in front of the agency, I knew immediately who you were. Someone passionate who loves what they do. His words left me speechless. I didn't know how to react. This kind of sincerity completely overwhelmed me.
Yes, this is peak game. I don't care if it's a fucking demo, this is peak.
Did Nightmare just... No, I didn't think so. Him? How should I take this? I already told you. Take it as a compliment. Or a proposition.
Oh! A proposition, you may say. Oh, Nightmare. A proposition. A proposition. A proposition, you might say. That's a way to put it.
I like who you are, and I feel you have a bright future ahead. I'd like to be part of that journey.
You'd like to be part of that journey, Nightmare. You'd like to be part of that journey. Oh my. I'm frying. The people are frying at the moment. Oh my god.
We could get to know each other better. Only if you want that.
Guys, I don't know what to tell. Guys, I don't know, but I think Nightmare wants Cross.
I mean, here's the funniest part. Maru, the person who made this game, is actually a big Crossmare shipper. I can see why. And I'm being fed good.
This is the greed they're talking about in the Bible, peep bitches.
Anyway. He wanted to get to know me? Not because of the cafe, not because of the cakes, but me as a person? All this time I thought his interest was focused on business and what I could offer professionally. After this night, Nightmare's going to bring a tour. Nightmare's going to bring Cross a tour in his bed. Yes. But now, he was saying he had interest in me as a person. Little by little, he withdrew his hand from mine, bringing it to his glass. You want us to be friends, right? He sighed deeply, but didn't seem surprised by my poor deduction. He just kept a serious expression. I doubt someone who wanted to be your friend would say it like this, Cross.
Take the fucking hint. Take the fucking hint, Cross. What do you mean, friends? I don't think he meant it like friends.
Don't be so oblivious. Sorry, nothing like this has ever happened to me. I took my glasses in defense, bringing my lips to the rim. The aroma filled my senses and somehow comforted me. Or at least, no one's ever been so direct with me. I understand. Knight leaned towards my side. The hand with the glass slid to mine, making a clink that only I heard with my lips against the crystal. Then I'll ask you this way, so there's no room for misunderstandings. Do you want to go out, you and me, with no work excuses in between? Oh! 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 Yes! 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 Hi, Jax. What's up? Yeah! Like two people who want to get to know really each other. I straightened my back. The question hit me right in the chest. Firm, unwavering. It must have taken effort for him to say that while I was hunched over my chest, defenseless. It was hard to admit, but I always thought someone like Nightmare would never notice someone like me. He had everything. Money, success, that air of perfection that seemed unreachable. It was just me. And yet, he was the one making the first move. That sparked something in me.
Gay?
I admired Nightmare. This invitation, far from making me uncomfortable, felt charming. Our eyes met, and in his I saw patience. I returned a smile, somewhat shy but steady. Well, yes, I'd be delighted to get to know you better. Hell yes! Thanks for the drink. He blushed! He's blushing! He's blushing! Yes. For a moment, I thought I saw him blush. Maybe this was my chance to see other sides of him. Yup, the last save would have been Killer's route. Wait, I want to know Dust's route then. Okay, we're gonna do that and then we'll end the stream. I'm sorry, guys. Still, I manage you'll be very busy with the cafe, just like I'll be with the agency work. The next contest event is in a month. There's a lot to do. I'm sure we'll find time. We're already managing it. Certainly. We drank a little more and kept talking until we decided to return to the group. Killer asked why we'd split off, and Nightmare simply said we went to talk through the next event. After a while, everyone went to their separate ways. Though I knew everything would change from now on, I didn't just leave for the work success. Now I was just caught up with a romantic web. That man in the impeccable suit. I hope I could live up to all of this. Yes. Okay, let's see. I think... Okay, I've never actually been rude to him. It's like, do you still remember my interview? I must really regret being the one who chose me. Dust sighed. But of course I do. I thought you were more capable. But here I am, waiting for you to stop throwing tantrums so we can head to the meeting. Dust led us way to the parking lot, and I followed along. The chat we had ended up costing me valuable time I needed for mental preparation. Okay. Okay. I need to... defend oneself. What if I defend? Be fully sincere. I think you have to be... see you later, another ink sands. Okay, so we got that one. Jadic responds. Okay. Matcha. Enjoy your cake. Don't talk about Killer. I accept the compliment. Talk about his taste for sweets. Bye bye. Goodbye, Nightmare. You can call me Night. The full name is not necessary. Bye bye. Sorry, Nightmare. Another time. Encourage him. I need you. I need you, baby girl. I need you. You probably wouldn't appreciate me chatting with him in the middle of the event. I was just a server at these kinds of events. I'd rather rest sitting in that chair Dust had grabbed at the start of the presentation. A few minutes later, the microphone... Okay. Okay, offer cake. Please interfere. Sir, I need to ask... Okay. No, I will reject. I'll go with you, Dust. you're just stubborn. We already got the damn contract, idiot. You don't need to be kissing up to those agency guys. He's talking about my little chat break I had with him. Just took a few minutes to talk, that's all. If we got the contract locked down, it means we're co-workers now. Something wrong with getting along with them. Yeah, Killer's entertaining at least. He's got a sense of humor, unlike some people here. I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Dust Hood. I want to know if Dust is okay. Never mind, we still got fucking Killer's route. Alright, we'll do it again. Oh, we'll do it again. Sorry, hold on. I need to be sorry, okay? Sorry, I need to do it again. Shush. Didn't understand Dust's reason, but you've heard this gets something else. Get me a registering pad. Oh, fuck off! Stop. We can't fucking escape Killer. God fucking damn it. What if I say nothing and just Didn't I tell you I'd come try to if the boss like it, I need to try this as soon as possible. Yeah, that's true, she said. But not so fast. Oh my god. My god. Okay, this one. Come on. Shoo. Shoo, Killer. I don't want you right now. Shoo. Shoo, 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 shoo. Okay? Shoo. Nightmare. Nightmare. Nightmare, I love you, but shoo, 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 shoo. Encourage you. Yes, I need you. Yes, I need you. No, keep resting. Rainbear. I wasn't part of them. It was the kind of humor I might share, but not in a more intimate setting. Exposing people in public like that might not be the best idea, but I wasn't the one making those decisions. I had to get back to my own work. Do not fucking no, interfere, bitch. Get out of the way. Go away. Shoo. 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 Fucking shoo. And I have to say I've been worried. Something I didn't expect to feel. Dust was alone. Okay, what are you doing back there? Smoking. Just cause you don't smoke. Okay. La 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 la. Now, what I wanted to do was cheer him up a bit more. If I didn't stop him, he would smoke the whole pack. Are you gonna keep smoking out here much longer? If years have passed since that problem, it means you're older than I thought. Your bones are gonna turn black. I ain't old. Older than you, sure. I still remember that interview. You look so unsure of yourself. That's not true. I did well. You accepted me for a reason. What if it was out of pity? Look at his smirk. Oh my god. Yes, guys, finally we got the dust route. Thank fucking god. Alright. I don't believe you at all. But it's true, this is my first job after graduating. Yeah, you haven't done bad. Eh? Did you just... Don't make me take it back so fast. Sorry, it's just... I'm surprised to hear those words from you. I'll do what I can. By the way, Dust, I don't remember if I thanked you for your help. This was a success because of our teamwork. And don't worry about Horror. It was just bad luck. Even if he didn't show up before, I doubt he'll come back to cause trouble. That would be pretty pathetic of him. Dust put his cigarette out and let out one sigh. He leaned against the railing just like I had. Would be pathetic. We both silhouetted against the moonlight. I wondered what he might be thinking about. He looked at me after the brief silence, and placed his hand on my shoulder. Aw, that's cute. There we go. We got the dust route in this demo. This, plus the free food's making me reconsider if it was such a bad day.
Free food makes everyone happy. Could be. Gonna take advantage then and grab another soda. I thought you drink alcohol. Even if I wanted to, I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't. I'm driving. It's my turn to take the truck back. Oh, I thought you'd go straight home. Don't know if you noticed, but I didn't bring my car to the agency. Forgot with all that rush. You had trouble working under pressure, finance guy. Where'd that nickname come from, Baker Boy? Finance guy, Baker Boy. Throughout the entire conversation, Dust hadn't moved his hand from my shoulder. He even leaned towards me to tease me with the Baker Boy thing. He smelled strongly of cigarettes, but it didn't bother me. He seemed much better, and that put me at ease. I sighed with relief. You never told me how old you are. Why would I tell you? If I don't know, I could change the nickname from Finance Guy to Old Geezer. Or better yet, Old Finance Guy. No thanks. I ain't 30 yet. Almost. That fits. You're old. Dust stepped back and stretched. I'm not, but I'm sure Nightmare is. Wearing formal suits is an old guy thing. Does that mean when you turn 30 you'll finally be able to ditch that hood? Only if they threaten to fire me. But I'm usually the one who handles the firing, so I ain't gonna fire myself. That's pretty shady of you. You want your promotion or not? Behave yourself. How annoying. I joked. Somehow I no longer felt like his jokes were insults. This moment of openness allowed me to completely change my perspective. This wasn't so annoying after all. We both headed back to the restaurant. The others seemed to be waiting for us. I didn't realize how long we'd been talking. It was already time to leave. Together with our colleagues, we released ourselves to the cafe. We returned to the cafe. I had a pleasant feeling in my chest. Ah. Well, that was cool. That was everything in Cafe Drop. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really fun. We got Nightmare's route. The most important part of this, because of course we're gonna do the Crossmire route once this game released, like once the full game releases. But we'll also do the other routes, like Killer, Dust. This is probably Stave or Ink. Alright. Well, everybody, that was fun. Unfortunately, I must leave. My planet needs me. Like I said, this is a very short stream, but hopefully tomorrow you guys will be able to join again, because I'm really glad to see you guys enjoying the streams a lot more, even though I don't post that much content in the channel. I really should, but yeah, I am gonna do a full playthrough of this. Don't worry. Like once the full game releases, I'll do a full playthrough of it. So yeah, guys, you can. So yeah, like I said, guys, you can join the stream tomorrow because I'll definitely do a longer stream. So anyway, shout out to Bingus, Magical Soul, Mocotail Sans, Unicorn, The Forgotten Fell, Lilies Draws People, Creative Illusion, love you man, Little Simpleholic, Edgy Bones, and the other, I don't know how many people are in the stream. Oh, Unicorn, Star Blossom, yeah, the other people here. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next stream, which is like I said tomorrow. So if you guys have the time, you can join me. You can join the stream. Alright? I expect you guys to see you. Jackdaw Creations as well. I expect to see you guys here. And if you guys don't come here, I will fucking murder y'all. I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not. Anyways. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, which is literally tomorrow. See ya!